Mr. Vice President, don't wish to disturb you. Are you at home? J. Wilkes Booth.
What do you think, sir?
Well, I think this letter means one of two things, Major. One, Booth and his compatriots were trying to ascertain whether or not Johnson was home.
So they could execute their plan.
Exactly.
Or
Andrew Johnson is complicit in the murder of Abraham Lincoln.
should I have the Vice President brought back for questioning, sir?
No.
No, sir?
Not yet.
If the Vice President is involved...
We don't know that.
But if he is, sir...
Did Mr. Lincoln ever tell you the one about the thirsty crow?
No, sir.
First story he ever read, other than the Bible, of course, there's a crow dying of thirst, he loved to say. The crow comes across a pitcher of water, but the water's too low. Her beak can't quite reach it, no matter how hard she works. She tries to knock it over, but the pitcher's too heavy. Then she sees a pile of pebbles nearby. She takes one pebble in her beak, drops it in the pitcher, and the water rises a tiny bit. Then another, and another, and another, till eventually...
The water overflows and the crow drinks her fill.
Patience, Mr. Eckert. Once we discover what's behind this note, whether it be Booth's machinations or Johnson's collusion, we strike. Till then, we wait.
(1865).
All right. Line up. Line up. We are met, sirs.
Secretary Stanton, this is the cast of Our American Cousin. The crew is standing by. Mr. Ford has the audience detained in the lobby, per your instructions.
Thank you, Marshal McPhail. Tell them to begin, Mrs.
Miss Laura Keene. I'm the leading actress and producer of this production.
Good for you. Please begin now.
Places is the word you are looking for, dear.
Places?
That's right, love. Give it a good shout.
I'd rather not.
Suit yourself. Places from the man-trap bit, everyone. Places from the man-trap bit. Harry, your line.
Mr. Hawke, please.
Mr. Hawke, whenever you're ready.
It's not a matter of when I'm ready. It's Mrs. Mount Chessington's line. She starts the bit.
And where is Mrs. Mount Chessington?
Mrs. Mount Chessington is a character, sir. She does not exist. The actress portraying her is in the dressing room, all in tears.
Someone send for her, now!
Have some compassion, Laura. She got his brains all over.
We all got his brains all over us, didn't we? But you don't see me sobbing like some mewling infant.
We've all had a day, Laura. But you don't have to be so cruel.
No, Harry. Cruel would be me telling everyone you've been sleeping with her.
God damn you,
Mrs.
Laura.
Keene!
It's Miss!
Miss Keene, are you capable of standing in for the lady?
I am, sir.
Hardly.
I have performed this piece 1,000 times, Harry. I know every word of the play.
Then please continue.
Of course. First, Mrs. Mount Chessington sets up the bit. I am aware, Mr. Trenchard, that you are not used to the manners of good society, and that alone will excuse the impertinence of which you have been guilty.
And then I reply, don't know the manners of good society, eh? But I guess I know enough to turn you inside out, old gal. You soctologizing old man-trap.
Bang!
Bang?
Yes, right after I said, you soctologizing old man-trap, the audience laughed, as they always do, and he shot him.
Laughter comes at this moment every night without fail.
Every night for 1,000 performances.
Well, that's peculiar. I don't find it amusing in the least.
Booth knows the play well. The shot was perfectly timed.
Booth was not an actor in this production. How was he so familiar with the play?
Mr. Booth made himself a home of the Ford. He grew quite familiar with the cast, especially the young girls.
You would know, wouldn't you?
Shut up, Harry.
Forgive me. You said young girls. I suppose you wouldn't know at all.
Oh, my God. What happened next?
He shouted, the
Sit,
South shall
Semper,
be... He
hit
did
him.
not shout that, and don't be so dramatic.
That's rich. You telling me not to be so dramatic?
You were backstage! She was backstage! He shouted, "The South shall be free!"
After the shouting, what happened next?
Booth leapt from the presidential box and landed all twisted-like, shrieking as he hit the ground. He picked himself up on one knee and made for me, running, waving his knife around like a man who'd lost his senses. I didn't know what he'd done exactly, or what he might want with me, so I simply did what any man in my shoes would have done.
And what was that?
I ran.
Coward.
Shut up, Laura.
And while this kumquat of a man ran for safety, I took control. I marched to the centre of this stage and urged the audience to keep their places. Then I hurried to the presidential box and held him in my arms. God bless his poor soul, as I tried to stop the bleeding, but there was nothing to be done.
Yes, you're such a hero, aren't you? You harlot!
Excuse me, sir. Henceforth you will mind your tongue in the presence of this lady. Have I made myself clear?
I appreciate your chivalry, Secretary Stanton. It is truly rare stock these days.
I burn no torch for those in your line, Miss Keene, but a woman you remain.
Thank you. But if you'll permit me saying so, this woman can speak for herself.
Oh, stay away from me, you devil!
Will you run from a woman as well? Apologies, Mr. Stanton. This day has tested us all. Now, sir, your inquiry's done. Might we send the actors home? Some of them have been at the theatre for nearly 24 hours.
No, I believe I'd like to see it.
See it?
The play? Uninterrupted.
You don't mean all of it, do you?
I believe places is the word you're looking for.
All right. Places! Places from the top! If you will excuse me, I must set my props.
Is this necessary, sir?
A peephole was drilled into the president's box. The door had been rigged for it to be barricaded from the inside, and Booth made his escape through a sea of thespians across the stage while shouting like a madman. And no one stopped him? Most importantly, he knew Lincoln would be at the performance last night. Someone told him. Maybe someone here in this theater. This is a crime scene, Marshal. When they're finished, I want them arrested.
Who, sir?
All of them.
Yes, sir.
Secretary Stanton.
Yes, Major.
I found something, sir.
What is it?
Johnson, in his official statement, told Marshal McPhail he was alone in his hotel room when the assassination occurred.
Yes, that's what he told me as well.
He's lying. I've just confirmed with the concierge at Johnson's hotel. He was far from alone. He had company, sir, and not his wife.
Who then?
A woman by the name of Ella Starr.
Oh, thank God. Are you here to rescue me?
Mr. Hawke, my name is Edwin M. Stanton.
Yes, I remember. How could I forget that beard?
Excuse me?
Sir, there's been some kind of terrible mistake. As you can see, I'm in chains. I'm hardly a danger. I'm an actor, sir. The only combat I engage in is of the theatrical variety, and as you know, we dull the tips.
Mr. Hawke, tell me what you know about this woman, Ella Starr.
Ella Turner, you mean? That's her Christian name, if such a woman can have such a thing. The Star is strictly for business.
Prostitution?
Now, that's a naughty word, but yes.
Did you patron Miss Starr's services?
I am a gentleman, sir. I never pay for pleasure. I only give it away.
What was the nature of her relationship to John Wilkes Booth?
What's the nature of any woman's relationship with John Wilkes Booth? They don't worship him for his skill on the stage, that's for certain. He's a dreadful actor, really. His carnal theatrics are another story, a very long story from what I understand.
And with Miss Starr, was it business or pleasure?
They both loved making money, and together they made it hand over fist. Washington's elite will pay a pretty penny for a piece of pie that's sweet, Mr. Secretary. Statesmen, wealthy entrepreneurs, politicians, they all wanted a taste of Ella Starr.
Which politicians?
Well, rumors abound, but who's to say? Though, if you have someone in mind, I'd be happy to finger them for you. If you take these shackles off and send me to my bed.
Good evening, Mr. Hawke.
Am I being released?
No. What is it?
Secretary Stanton.
Major,
We have the woman.
is she at the prison?
No, sir. That's what I wanted to discuss with you.
If we have Miss Starr in custody, she should be in shackles in a holding cell.
She is in shackles, sir, but not a prison.
Well, then where is she?
The hospital, sir. Our men found her unconscious at a local hotel. She tried to take her own life, sir.
Tonight?
Yes, sir.
Is she conscious? What is she saying?
Very little. Only, I'm sorry, over and over and over again.
Sorry for what?
She says she's complicit, sir. She says she helped Booth attempt to murder the vice president.
Who's there?
Mr. Vice President?
Wells?
Mr. Vice President.
Stanton? Any word on the president?
He will not survive.
Christ.
Doctors say it's likely he won't make it through the night.
How's Mary Todd?
No, she's not well, sir.
She's never been well. That woman's crazy as a shithouse rat. Is she completely off the rails?
Robert's looking after her.
Are you all right, sir?
I'm a country boy from Raleigh, North Carolina, who cut his teeth in the hills of Tennessee. And among many things, I am a drunk, as many country boys from Raleigh are. I sure as fire didn't expect to be president.
You'll rise to the occasion, Mr. Johnson, I have no doubt.
Hell, I'll be fine. How hard can the job be? Stanton,
Yes, sir.
where are we with the hunt for Booth?
Every man with a gun and a badge this side of the Mason-Dixon is on the hunt.
Every boat at the Navy's disposal is patrolling the Potomac River.
We'll find him, sir.
See you do. Swift justice is what's required.
Sir, if I may,
Go on.
if swift justice is the desired outcome, I suggest we declare martial law.
On what basis?
I have reason to believe the Confederacy is behind these attacks.
We don't know that.
We know Booth didn't act alone.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves,
We
Stanton.
know these attacks were not random. They were part of a coordinated effort to cripple the executive branch of our government.
You're saying this is a coup?
I'm saying it's possible, sir.
And who's behind it?
Jefferson Davis.
We don't know that either.
We don't know anything, Mr. Wells, but we cannot rule out the possibility.
What we cannot do, Mr. Stanton, is put the cart before the horse.
If you want swift justice, sir, martial law is the best course.
Justice by martial law is not justice at all.
Mars and Neptune. That's what Lincoln called you. The god of war and the god of the sea. Butting heads like a pair of Mexican bulls fighting over who gets to hump the dairy cow. Lincoln might have put up with that sort of nonsense, but I will not.
Yes, sir. Unity is what matters most now.
Martial law can wait, Stanton. Bring me John Wilkes Booth, dead or alive. The moment we have a line on him, I want to be the first to know.
Yes, Mr. Vice President.
Sir, may I have a moment? In private?
Mr. Wells?
Of course. I'll be just down the hall.
Mr. Vice President, there's something I think you should be aware of. It's rather sensitive.
I'm listening.
Well, it's best you see for yourself.
Mr. Vice President, I don't wish to disturb you. Are you at home? J. Wilkes Booth. What in the name of God is this?
A note. Booth left for you at your hotel, sir, moments before the attack at the ford. Do you have a relationship with John Wilkes Booth?
Am I being interrogated?
No. Did he call on you often?
Call on me?
Leave you mysterious notes at your hotel?
I hope you're not suggesting what I think you're suggesting.
Mr. Vice President, take a moment to consider the implications of this letter. It's possible there was an attempted coup on our nation this evening. And here we have a document that proves you, a known associate of the president's assassin.
Known associate?
Yes, sir.
Are you threatening me?
I know who you were with tonight.
Is that so?
What you do behind closed doors and with whom you do it is none of my concern, but I have a job to do. And my job is to find out the truth. I can't help you if you don't talk to me.
I have a thirst, Mr. Secretary. A thirst Mrs. Johnson can't help me quench. Mr. Booth provided a remedy.
Ella Starr.
He arranged for us to meet here in my room tonight. When your men came barging in earlier, I snuck her out the back. I feared Mrs. Johnson might catch wind of my dalliance.
I see.
But I swear on my mother's life, I did nothing wrong. I had nothing to do with any of this.
I believe you, sir. I know you would never do anything to harm Mr. Lincoln or this country. Mr. Vice President, no one knows about Booth's letter except for the two of us and a handful of trusted men.
Lincoln's men?
My men, sir, and I aim to keep it that way. You have my discretion.
Stanton, wait. Suppose Miss Starr starts flapping her gums around town.
Don't worry about Ella Starr. I'll handle her.
After hearing what Mr. Booth had done, I tried to take my own life, choosing a quiet death over a life without my one true love, John Wilkes Booth. I am very grateful to be given a second chance at life. That's what you want me to say, right?
Are you grateful, Miss Starr, to be given a second chance?
Yes, sir.
One more time. Who were you with the night of the assassination?
No one.
Have you ever before met the Vice President?
No, sir.
And when the papers ask you why you tried to take your own life?
I was heartbroken over Mr. Booth.
Very good.
I want you to know I didn't do anything wrong. In the eyes of God, perhaps my profession is wrong, but as to this crime, I am innocent. Booth told me to leave the door to Johnson's room unlocked, but if I would have known what he was about, I never would have agreed.
We know, ma'am. Here. Money to cover your expenses. We're moving you out of that brothel and into a hotel on the outskirts of town.
Why are you doing this? Why are you helping me?
Oh, you're the one helping me, Miss Starr. And as long as you continue to help me, I will help you in return. Prison is no place for a lady. You're free to go.
Thank you.
And Miss Starr,
Yes, sir?
don't leave town. We need to keep a close eye on her.
Yes, sir.
If she tries to cut and run...
She won't make it over the Navy Yard Bridge. I've already assigned a security detail. We'll have eyes on Miss Starr every hour of every day.
Good. Contact the Evening Star.
Yes, sir.
When she talks to the reporter, I want you there by her side to make certain she sticks to her story.
Mr. Stanton, permission to speak freely?
You don't need my permission.
Johnson's a despicable man.
Yes, he is.
Then why are we helping him?
I'm not doing this for Johnson. I'm doing it for Mr. Lincoln. That man will try to destroy Lincoln's legacy day one. When he does, I'll be there to guide him towards his better angels. Send for the reporter. Let's get this over with.
Yes, sir.
We're close, Major. It's time to drop the final pebble.
Telegram, April 15th, 1865. Abraham Lincoln died this morning at 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. Edwin M. Stanton, Secretary of War.
Mars, is that you?
Mr. President.
Well, that's gonna take some getting used to.
Arrangements are being made for your inauguration. You'll be sworn in a few hours.
Have a drink with me?
No, thank you, sir.
Well, I guess I'm drinking alone.
In the meantime, I thought you should see this.
The Evening Star?
An advance copy of the morning edition.
Grief-stricken lover of John Wilkes Booth tries to take her own life.
There's no mention of you, Mr. President, and there never will be. It's taken care of.
How?
I believe it's best you don't know the details.
Thank you. What's this?
My letter of resignation. I know there are many things you will want to accomplish moving forward, efforts I might impede by my very presence. Now The last thing I want is to be a burden to you, sir. A smooth transition is what's required now, not political infighting.
Country over party, you mean?
Well, technically, I am still a Democrat, sir.
My ass. If you're still a Democrat, I'm Frederick Douglass.
Your success is our country's success. If my stepping aside eases your transition, it's a sacrifice I'm happy to make.
Stanton, why are you helping me? You don't even like me.
My job is to protect the country, and right now the country needs its president.
Is that why you're resigning? To protect me?
Well, to spare you the trouble of firing me, sir.
Or your infamous pride, the indignity of being fired?
There is that, too. But I serve at the pleasure of the president. I'll only resign with your blessing, sir.
Well, by God, you don't have my blessing.
Sir?
I don't accept your resignation. I will require your services in the Department of War moving forward.
As you wish, sir.
Don't bother to thank me.
I am very happy to remain in your cabinet.
And I am very happy that you are happy to remain.
But?
Oh, there's a but.
If I stay, I have one condition.
I'm listening.
Martial law. Mr. President, the burdens of the office are heavy beyond measure. Even the strongest of men can be crushed beneath its weight. If you'll let me, I can be useful to your presidency. The War Department can be a shield against the pressure and a sword to wield against your enemies. Allow me to declare martial law. If you entrust me with that privilege, I assure you, justice will be severe, unflinching, and most importantly, swift.
Fine.
Fine, sir?
Fine, yes, it's fine. Do what you need to do.
Thank you, sir.
Get the hell out of here before I change my mind. You're dismissed.
Well, Johnson took the bait, Mr. Eckert. We have our seat at the table. Are the men ready for me?
Yes, sir. They're waiting for you at the War Department.
Gentlemen, agents and officers of the Department of War. As of today, hundreds of thousands of Union soldiers have bravely given their lives in the name of suppressing the Southern Rebellion and defending principles of liberty, freedom, and justice. It is for these same ideals that President Lincoln paid the ultimate price. We must not let his sacrifice be in vain, nor must we allow the sacrifices of those brave Northern men who fell at Gettysburg, at Antietam, at Bull Run, and all across this great nation be for nothing. Make no mistake, gentlemen, this war is not yet over. It will never be over until those who stand against us are vanquished. Before today, in pursuit of these ends, this Department of War has arrested over 100,000 secessionists and those loyal to their cause. I swear here today, before each and every one of you, I will arrest 100,000 more if that's what justice demands. Until every loyalist Southern general who refuses to stand down is eviscerated. Until the will of the Southern cause is crushed beneath our feet. Until the head of Jefferson Davis is delivered to me on a spike, no quarter will be given. I am officially declaring martial law. Gentlemen, they have killed our father. Bring me their heads.
"1865" is an Airship production, starring Jeremy Schwartz as Edwin Stanton, also featuring Ian Ferguson, Emily Gray, Aaron Roberts, Dee Dee Archilla, Pam Doherty, Joel Farrell, Tia LaLusa, Robert McCullum, Lindsay Ryan, Matthew Gray, R. Bruce Elliott, J. Michael Tatum, and Allison Pistorius. Created by Stephen Walters and Eric Archilla. Written and directed by Stephen Walters. Executive producer, Lindsay Graham. Co-executive producers, Eric Archilla, Robert McCullum, and Stephen Walters. Music and sound design by Lindsay Graham. To find out more about 1865, go to 1865podcast.com or find us on Facebook and Twitter at 1865podcast. And if you're a fan of the show, please consider supporting us. Become a patron at patreon.com/1865podcast. New episodes air weekly, and look for special Inside the Episode interviews with the writers and producers of the series to find out more about the real history behind 1865.